Welcome back.
Surprise!
We're infamous.
Oh, find your magic 8-ball, did you? She's real FBI. In fact, she's big-time FBI. Highly decorated. The kind of person...
Well, I mean, you'd have to expect that she would be in some position of authority if she could freely just release Cole right that the fact that, you know, he instigated that whole revolt and managed to get him out free.
Why?
Because he's immune to it. Well, yeah, you'd have to be pretty high up to say, no, trust me, sending the Electric Man we just captured back is a great plan.
Yeah, like, did Cole just assume that this was just like some secretary or something having a laugh?
Having a laugh.
A prank on the entire city.
Oh, I think you now have the playlist description when it actually starts going up. The greatest prank ever played on Empire City.
Yeah, and JFK was assassinated. I mean, come on.
What?
Someone played quite the prank on JFK.
Fuck. I spilled water all over myself, you cunt.
I was supposed to be born on Assassination Day. Actually, when my grandmother, like, because my mom hadn't even thought of that when she found out I was going to be born on the 22nd, but when my grandmother heard that her grandchild would be born on the 22nd, her very first reaction was just, she sort of looked down solemnly, Assassination Day.
What? Sounds like the beginning of a goddamn movie. A really bad
Instead,
one.
I was born 2 days later when Freddie Mercury died, also when the guy who shot JFK died.
You're significant.
Also, Ted Bundy was born.
Nothing interesting happened on my birthday.
I've been browsing certain conspiracy-related message boards, man.
Trust me. They really expand on this mechanic in Infamous 2.
Oh,
Spoilers, but this
jeez.
rarely happens in Infamous 1. Just a guy running up to you and saying, hey, there's something happening over there.
That is kind of neat.
Yeah, this is like one of the 2 instances of it happening, I think, over my playthrough, so they're not really that interesting in this one, but I kept this one in. Yeah, you really saved me, man.
Let me just wave my arms in the air in appreciation of this. I like all the graffiti there.
Yeah. That either had to be the Reapers or someone who is really ballsy.
Maybe it was like, maybe this is what Delson was doing when he was like 13.
Stop the car. Make the car explode. Oh.
I know, it was already wrecked.
If you actually read that graffiti, what it all says. I've never taken the time.
I'm not
to
sure if
look
it's
at
high
it.
res enough, but it might be.
Even then, you'd have to know how to read wild style, which I am. I've kind of been showed how to, but I'm really bad at it. I wonder if there are any genuine Mr. Brainwash pieces on that wall.
So wait, can we jump into that cemetery and use our electrical powers to bring zombies back from the dead?
Not quite. In fact, nowhere near
Okay,
quite.
no, seriously.
In fact, no.
I am putting so much money. Next Infamous game, there's gonna be a conduit who can control, like, corpses.
There's a word for that. It's called a necromancer. Also, never mind me, Taxi. Yeah, cool. You can move on now.
Okay, so, like, if I just, like... So if Necromancer is just controlling corpses, like, if I just sort of, like, rig one up as, like, a giant, very heavy marionette puppet, does that make me a Necromancer?
Yes. And besides, Cole is basically a lightning mage. So... I mean, another reason I love this game so much is because urban fantasy is one of my goddamn favourite things, and superheroes... This is a superhero thing, but it also fills that niche.
Yeah. Actually, what is that gas that hurts you supposed to be? Because it looks really unpleasant, but I have no idea what it is.
High pressure dust. Just being pumped off the city streets.
They're just freaking, like, gasifying shit. Like, actual
The sound
pieces.
design on those things turning is really impressively unpleasant to hear.
I know, it's great. Now, on my first playthrough, I never used this. Because
Really?
if you don't get, like, enough blast shards and get enough power to actually use it often, you're just basically giving up all of your energy for 1 or 2 shots.
See, I actually use this a lot.
Same here.
I use it a lot
I
on
didn't
this
use it for a
playthrough.
while, but like once I got to the Warren, I started using it all the time.
So as you can see, it's our sniper ability. It just slows down time, makes the aiming a bit more fine, zooms you in and makes your reticle a lot smaller. So, yep.
Iron sights for electricity. Damn, he gets some really good reception down in the sewers.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Well, you see, that's actually, it's distilled Wi-Fi coming out of those pipes.
Actually, something I'm disappointed they never did, because this is like the closest to a New York City-based city we're probably gonna get, unless the next Infamous game like straight up takes place in New York, because they're doing that now. But we
Yeah.
never got to. There was never like an underground subway thing, which I would have really liked to have seen.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Especially, I mean, they clearly can handle like these more claustrophobic sections. That would be cool.
You know, the thing that concerns me most about Empire City is that these are so big that if you probably hit the ground hard enough, you just fall right through to the sewers, because it's hollow under the ground. And how much weight is being placed on these obviously not that thick floors, it just concerns me, okay?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we don't know how deep down this is. That, like,
Fair enough.
entrance hatch could have gone down for like 20 feet or so before he got to here.
Still, I'd feel uncomfortable here, because, like, it's underground. There'd have to be so much struggle. Why am I talking about structural integrity in a superhero game?
Well, I mean, like, real cities have, subway systems and shit. I mean, they don't
Yeah.
have sewers like this.
This is a whole new level.
I mean, okay, the first few sewer missions were somewhat grounded, but, like, look at this. These are, like, massive cavernous chambers that could house buildings.
The guy in charge of urban planning had a fucking fetish for sewers and an unlimited budget.
Honestly, yeah, like, if I was an urban planner, I would probably make some big areas like this just because it would be cool. I mean, I probably
You're just throwing away public funding, yeah.
You do that. That's how cities become cool.
So, Snake, when do you run into George?
When do I run into George?
Never mind.
I have no idea what you're talking about either.
I'm very concerned, because I can't remember George, and I really think I should remember George.
Who is George?
I'm fucking up.
From MGR.
Oh no! Why? Now I know why I don't remember that, because I don't want to remember that. Thank you.
See, I was thinking of George from Seinfeld here. I honestly
Go ninja, go ninja, go.
him or Curious George.
They're both pretty terrible.
You shut your mouth. They're both excellent. Like
I
those
was
are.
talking about George from MGR.
Oh, yeah, but George Costanza and Curious George.
Yeah, they're both pretty terrible. I'm saying this just to
Oh,
make Eric
those are
mad.
the two best Georges. Name a George that was better than either one of those two Georges.
Solidus from Metal Gear Solid 2.
He's Solidus, not George.
But his name is actually George.
I don't believe you.
It's George Sears. He was president, and then he
Oh,
put
no.
on a tentacle suit.
President of the Sears Corporation.
I like how of all of, the US presidents named George, the fictional one from Metal Gear is the one you choose instead of, like, George Washington.
Well, he's better than George Washington. Do you know why? Because he had a tentacle shoot that shot laser beams. And he had
And
two
George
katanas.
Washington didn't?
Yeah. Well, did he have did George Washington have two katanas that were named Democratic and Republican? No, he didn't.
George Bush had two paintbrushes named Democratic and Republican.
And he can't use either of them.
I mean, honestly, I would totally buy a George Bush painting to hang in my house.
Yeah, I probably would too.
I wonder if I could get him to do a painting of that image of him hearing about 9/11, the one that Neo
Probably
uses.
not.
It's I don't know. I think he would be willing to do a self-portrait.
Probably not of the day of 9/11.
Just can you imagine telling him, now, picture yourself, it's 9/11.
George Bush plays George Bush in a movie about George Bush. Titled George Bush.
Whoa, that poppin'.
This mission is really fun. We get a defense section in this one, and this is where you really realize that being able to just throw out bolts infinitely, oh god, it's satisfying, because you can just plug away on these sons of bitches.
I have to say, the way this area was laid out with like the tents in that big circle, it looked like they were setting up a circus. It really did.
Well, they tried to create a circus, it just made a perfect fucking funnel for me to kill them with.
I mean, I would go to this circus.
You'd get exploded.
I'd still go.
Do you think this game would have benefited from having an ambient soundtrack for when you're just like running around the city and not like in a battle?
I think you do have...
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
No, a
you do.
soundtrack, not like city noises.
No, there is like
There is
occasional
actually music.
Music that comes in.
Huh, guess I never really noticed it then.
It's more prevalent in later games, honestly.
Yeah.
It actually... Here it's just kind of there.
I don't think it's not in this, but the startup music that plays, like when you have Infamous open in the PlayStation menu, I absolutely, like, I guess it's the main theme, I absolutely adore that piece of music. It's really good. This series has really good music in general, I would say.
The final boss music is kind of like, the part of it I like the most is really short and only plays once, if it's not being looped, but bring it on, stand in that puddle.
Just
But it's a
zapping that
good
guy in the
track.
puzzle. Yeah, bring it on, you dirty little bitch.
Kinda got my hands full right now.
No, you don't. They're all dead. The Gatling gun guy's there, but honestly, he's not that bothersome. Oh, I love Zeke in this scene. I've got a name for that. It's called the Blasting Bolt.
Now's not really the time.
Cole's not actually concerned. He just doesn't want to offend him by saying he's already named it in his own head.
Look at his little walk, it was adorable.
The little waddle.
Can you just juggle those guys in air by, like,
Yeah.
blasting them up, getting under them, and just keeping them afloat?
Yep.
Do you ever record yourself doing that?
No. Sorry.
That's it. I'm quitting this playthrough, guys.
Eat a dick.
Nikita, I mean,
What?
he told me to eat a dick. Like, I have to do what the man says.
Not mine.
Don't be a
Eat
spoilsport.
Cole's electro dick. Where did that section of fence go? Oh well. These guys really aren't that bothersome when they're on the back of a truck because you can just walk up right under them and they're kind of disabled.
I know you haven't been disabling a lot of turrets.
Hey guys, I've got a plan. Maybe we should all charge in at once. I actually kind of wish Infamous had a horde mode on that note.
Yeah, that would... Well, there was some stuff in 2 that was kind of...
I imagine there must be a custom mission or some
Yeah.
such. Yeah, also enemies on turrets are immune to those drops in some cases, or at least it appears that way from what just happened.
And they're like glued to their turrets.
He hit his head on the trash can!
Poor bastard.
Oh, that entertained me way too much.
Need any help moving that stuff?
We got it. And Cole.
We don't need help from you, Cole.
Talking again?
Disgusting mad bomber. That little satisfied way Cole looks in that scene. Just holds it as she blows him off completely. It's like, I gotta hold on to my dignity somehow.
Cole, I pinned down Sasha's
Wait, is that a big heart?
She's operating out of the Jefferson
No.
Tunnel.
Oh.
Head to the location marked
Sorry.
on the GPS.
It's just their
and
down
I'll
circus
see you
tent.
when you get there.
You hit your head on a trash can, that's a crime.
I don't know. The Reapers are kind of dressed like they're that they're part of a circus. I could see. It would make them a much more interesting gang, being circus themed. Thugs only.
So yeah, the fucking upgrades on the shot grenades for Hero aren't that interesting, just making increased damage, blast radius, and they get knocked down for slightly longer. The last level of shot grenade on Hero I don't think I get in this run through, but all it does is automatically
Restrain
arc
them.
restrain, yeah.
Yeah.
So I know, like, leveling up, that's sort of a video game mechanic, but how do you think that would translate into being a more, like, real-life application? Like, is this a process of over time Cole just selectively trains certain abilities of his that become better?
Well, I
have
think like he
more-
has all this like blast shard juice, and he can sort of like choose, how the energy manifests itself.
He just kind of gets experimental and just realizes, hey, I can do this with my electricity. If I can heal people with my electricity, I can definitely chain it between people's heads.
What the fuck was that guy doing?
He was going to charge at me, but he didn't realize that I'm savvy to him.
Now,
He had some really bright glow-in-the-dark sticks and he wanted to party and you just denied him that.
this area actually, I have an just because I was talking about how I played that train mission on the demo. That train mission actually starts like right next to here, and this is one of the few areas where you could go into without like the mission, just like saying mission cancelled and the demo starts over. So I did spend quite a bit of time fighting enemies in here, I believe.
I really like these types of areas. I mean, I liked when the game would, like, actually let you into one of their bases and you'd have, like, a specific area designed for you to, like, combat them. Not just, any place in the city to fight them, but a specific location.
Yeah.
I really like the design.
Then you get to the part where it's a mission and it's way more filled with enemies. And I'm like, oh, they really stocked this place today. Also, you can completely destroy this base if you know where to take cover.
I do think that, this was the game that did that the best. The area is specifically designed for you. The more linear design, pre-planned areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Because it makes sense that they built them as fortifications against Cole, so. Or against anyone, I guess.
It's like in this game, it feels like the gangs have had more time to prepare, which they really haven't any more than the bad guys in the later games. Sorry, I'm only talking Infamous 1 and 2. Second Son I kind of count as its own unique entity
Yeah.
in some regards. So, another thing that I haven't actually talked about, but I noticed it a moment ago, not on an enemy, but if you actually fry an enemy and they still have electricity coming off them, you can kind of drain that electricity back off them before it wears
Really?
off. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Does that heal them back up, or does
No,
like,
it does. No, it doesn't. You're just
That's
basically taking
super
like
cool.
the.
That is.
It's really a negligible amount of energy, but it's kind of a nice touch, you know.
I kind of
Yeah.
wish that it would actually heal them, so you could sort of like stun lock them, zap them, like suck them back up, zap them again, suck it back up, and just have them bouncing back and forth from that.
That would be unnecessarily cruel.
Well,
Well, we've kind of got a track record here.
It would be nice if you did that enough, it just gave you evil XP for torturing.
actually, torture would have been an interesting thing to reward you evil XP for, like I guess certain things you
Toying
could have
with
done.
them. Like
Yeah.
knocking them repeatedly into the air, stuff like that. Stun locking them, that sort of thing.
Just relishing in their pain. This conversation is making me feel evil because I do toy of them in this playthrough at moments when I get cocky.
Well, believe it or not, this is a video game, and video games allow you to do things without actual repercussions.
I know. It's amazing.
And yet we still feel sentimentality towards these CPUs, who are just bits of data.
She's calling us a liar, didn't even say anything.
We're a liar, okay? Also, it tells you to dodge roll out of the way of those things, but you can actually just, tap X and do a little mini-hop over them. Which I appreciate. I prefer doing the mini-hop over these things.
Hop like a bunny, hop,
Like
hop,
that.
hop.
So you're destroying all these support structures. How many can you destroy before the whole entire tunnel caves in?
Surely it should
well-
be gradually caving in behind you as you destroy these support structures.
You see, Sucker Punch are actually pleb tier, and this doesn't cave in. Peter Molyneux levels of choice right here.
Bunch of people down here, locked in cages, machines spraying them.
That person seemed pretty cool to be in that cage. Like, they were just standing regimented in the center.
They were going to be the cool Reaper. So yeah, this is how Reapers are made. You take a person in a cage and you spray tar on them, and then
You
Reaper,
spray
and that's why they
black
were
on
vomiting
them,
tar.
Cole, or Snake. That's what Cole said. You spray black on them.
It's a commentary on the oil industry, how oil corrupts people.
What the fuck's...
Oil's pretty evil. Oh, I should probably help that. I like the fact they just grow the hoodie over them, or someone opens the cage in the night and puts on the red hoodie for them.
Where do they get all these red hoodies?
I don't know, maybe they have a sponsorship deal with the tar company. That guy had a red Parker on. Oh no, that was a Reaper.
Oh,
Hey,
that's...
They're
I see.
has an AK already, that just naturally grows out of him, but he's chill. He's chill, I'll let him be.
Yeah, what, did they just, like, give them the AKs while they were still in the cages, not fully Reaper yet?
You see, they're kind of like the Cordyceps. Like, the longer they exist, they go through different stages of Reaper. Sort of like a little baby Reaper with an AK, then they go into a Rocket Reaper, then an AK Reaper, and then a Conduit Reaper.
That would actually be kind of cool.
They're organic, and they're fungal, and they're tar. Of course I'm smarter than everyone else, I've played it before already.
Okay, I don't know if this was intentional, but when I got to this point in the game, I had no idea what the fuck was going on or who this person was.
Really? You didn't connect to the person who had been talking to you seductively beforehand?
I had no idea who the person talking to me before was.
But you didn't make the connection that it could have been the same person?
No, I knew it was the same person, but I had no idea who that person was.
Otherwise, no, yeah, I agree. This person just kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, they clearly hinted at her, but the way they delivered her, like, I guess they assumed you would know exactly who she was and what her position was, aside from just being the evil person who's been screwing with you, but... Yeah, she was just kind of dropped in there.
Honestly, this boss fight is so goddamn easy. All the boss fights in this game are actually pretty fucking easy. Anyway, also, I'm jumping over the water. You don't have to. It doesn't shock you. It just slows you down. Also, you gotta tap X and move towards it. There we go.
Oh god, I don't remember if you can, but just, can you grab her boob?
I don't think you can. No, it only counts as a grab when you get to the ring it wants you to.
That would be such a great little Easter egg.
Would you gain good or evil points from it?
Evil, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I just wanted to see how you would respond to this.
But you get good XP if you passionately stroke her face.
Ah, okay. Try and talk her down. Also, you never see it again, but apparently she's gone so evil that she's actually started turning crystal.
Why isn't there a karmic choice to just give her a little smack on the kisses? A little smackaroony.
You know, I'd say it's slightly less evil than just shooting her with electricity. Unless you're just saying that you're putting the extra effort in just to smack her.
It's time to get up close and personal.
See,
Thanks for the
he's
hint.
gonna give her a little kissy.
Oh, okay.
See?
Hold still.
Her
So it's
face.
so stiff.
Jesus.
My goo!
My girl
My
goo.
precious goo!
So wait, I feel like we just have no idea what her motivations are, why she has powers, like...
Well, at this point,
Attain goo, give it to others.
Where'd she get the goo from? How does
She
the
makes
goo
it.
work?
I mean, just like you have electricity powers, she has goo powers.
And we find out later on. Dead Drops, which we'll listen to all of them. We'll listen to all of them in one part, or we may not, and I might just link to it. We listen to all the Dead Drops, and it explains Sasha.
Right.
Sasha, whatever.
I'm sorry, but seeing these things is giving me PTSD from Infamous 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh god. I never made that connection before. I don't even know what her power set is, really. It seems to be teleportation, crystal, and hallucinations.
And, you know, goo.
And goo.
Well, I think the hallucinations are a side effect of the goo.
Okay, yeah.
And I could see the crystal just being the solid form of the goo. The teleportation, though, yeah, there's no excuse for that. Her face kind of looks like the witch from Left 4 Dead. How come the goo isn't, like, getting rid of your powers?
I don't... well... It's not that tar stuff goo, it's unrefined goo.
Raw goo.
It's raw goo.
It's fresh from the tap.
Honestly, I don't care for the boss fights in this game that much.
Yeah. They were definitely one of the game's weaker points.
This one is definitely the weakest, though. Like, if you know what you're doing, it's just kind of slow and middling.
I don't know, the final boss I dislike a little bit more than this one. They're both my two least favorite.
No, but in the final boss fight, I at least always feel like I'm making progress. Here there's waiting, and a lot of it.
Why don't you just die?
That was a long way of saying damn it. Screams.
Screams.
You'll never control it, Cole.
Look at that booty. She's just showing it to you.
Look at what it's done. It controls you.
This is what being a conduit does.
You're just full of shit,
Sasha
aren't
was
you?
a piece of shit before the blast.
I know this. I looked on her MySpace page.
A warped body and twisted mind.
She kind of looks like that one character from
Either
Star
way,
Wars, the
she knows all about the first
Dark
sons of the
Jedi or
Red Spear.
whatever.
If I'm gonna dig myself out of
Ventress.
this hole, it starts with her.
She was reminding me of Jack from Mass Effect 2 for a second there. Oh no, my backtracking!
They came fast. Smoke everywhere. Sasha got pulled
What
out.
inconvenient
Whoever
timing.
They were
I
pros.
know.
Trained for this kind of thing. There was no time to think. Water was pouring in and the place was falling apart. With no way back, I went.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have destroyed those support beams.
Might not have been a wise idea in retrospect.
Now, when I first got out into the war, and I was so confused and disoriented from what just happened, I got fucking owned by the welcoming party.
Yeah, you should really stand in here because there's gonna be a bunch of homeless people waiting to greet you. And holy fuck, these homeless people.
These, okay, yeah, so these are the Dustmen. These are my favorite faction of all the ones you fight in this game.
I find them bizarre. Like the Reapers get a backstory. Like the Reapers get the most backstory. The Third Island enemies get even more backstory. These guys just seem like evil homeless people.
You could just say homeless people. I mean, they're homeless for a reason, Snake.
Oh, whoa. No, the views held by Eric do not necessarily represent the views of Commentary Comms LLC.
Well, I mean, this game is made by a libertarian.
Ah, okay. Oh god, it actually is. Yeah, I forgot about that fucking interview.
That explains a lot about the Dustmen.
Don't take this the wrong way, Cole, but man, people are starting to say you're nothing more than a crazy psychopath. Running around frying everyone that gets in your way. That dark and crazy look on your face.
It's dark and edgy, Zeke, not dark and crazy.
You just hate me because I'm gangstered, Zeke.
I say go nuts. I'll see
You lost your streetness, Zeke.
You used to be cool,